Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another edition of Union Pine Sports Time. My name is Justin Blackburn, voice of Viking football. As always, joined by head coach Matt Quinn.
Thank you for having us here, Justin. Hope the baby boy's doing well.
He's doing good, man. I tell you what, it's a whole nother world with the baby boy around now. But he's awesome, doing great, and finally starting to get a little bit of sleep now. So
good. Man, I'm glad to hear that.
Glad to be back here doing some Union Pine Sports Time. So we got two games to cover this week, and the first game that we're going to be covering is Southern Lee. And your Vikings took on Southern Lee, I believe it was October 6th, 2 weeks ago now. And they played at Southern Lee. Your Vikings took a win there, 36-29. Good way to open up the conference there, Coach.
Yeah, it was a good night for us. You always want to try to get that first conference game win out of the way, and to get it in the first one is good to do, and against a very good opponent. Southern Lee has got some very good players. They've got a kid committed to Duke. So they have some great athletes. They're great coaches. And that was a big win for us, opening up the conference.
Absolutely there, Coach. And starting off with the offense, we have Rory Board, 130 yards passing. He was 10 of 18 with 2 passing touchdowns. Those 2 passing touchdowns, Coach, Mr. Reliable, Brandon DeLoach on that. Yes. 6 receptions for 84 yards. Coach, talk about their performance a little bit.
Rory and Brandon had a pretty good night, just taking what the defense was giving them. They didn't try to force passes. Rory did a great job of reading out the defense and not forcing anything and not making mistakes. And Brandon was finding soft spots in the coverage and just taking what they were giving us. So both of those guys did a very good job for us in the pass game against Southern Lee.
Absolutely, man. And Mr. Eberhardt, here he is again, 30 attempts, 278 yards rushing. His longest one was a 71-yard, 4 touchdowns on the night, and 4 receptions for 46 yards. Coach, he's all over the field.
Yes, Eberhardt had over 300 yards of offense by himself. Did a great job of running the football. Had 4 touchdowns, like you mentioned. 4 good runs, pretty long runs for us on those touchdown runs. But those boys up front blocked their tails off for him and did everything that he asked. And Justin is very thankful for those guys.
Yeah.
And that kind of performance is just special for a running back to have.
Absolutely, Coach. I mean, 4 touchdowns. The longest one was 71 yards. I believe I checked the highlight reel there in the huddle. Another one was like 32, another one 31 yards. 300 yards of total offense. Those numbers are just absolutely astounding.
Yeah.
I mean, just incredible. Another note that I picked up on there, Coach, your offense was 3 for 3 with 4th down conversions. That's huge.
Yeah, anytime you can be perfect on 4th down conversions, when you decide to go for it, that's a very tricky moment to be in, picking if you want to go or if you want to punt. And that game, we went for it 3 times, and we're just fortunate enough to pick it up all 3 times. And that's credited to those guys up front, because all 3 of those were running plays.
Yeah.
And to Eberhardt to getting those tough yards when he needed to get those tough yards.
Absolutely, Coach. Channeling the riverboat run a little bit. Is that what
a
you're
little
doing?
bit.
Little riverboat run going. Let's get to the defense now. We had 11 players with a registered tackle. Coach, once again, another double-digit game with players registering tackles all over the field, led by this guy, Sean Long, 8 tackles, 1 assist. The defense had 6 tackles for loss. Mm-hmm. And here we go, the most astounding stat that I could find with the defense. They held Southern Lee to -1 rushing yards overall. They had 3 rushers with a negative yardage attached to their name. Coach, that's just unbelievable.
Our defense played great against Southern Lee. The final score was 36-29, but really our defense only gave up 15. One of those was off an interception. One of them was off of a blocked punt. So our defense only gave up 15 points, which is awesome. An awesome performance by all those guys that you mentioned. Sean Long had a great night. Our defensive line did a great job of holding their rushers. So we were very impressed with our defensive performance against Southern Lee.
I didn't have it down on the paper, but I saw that linebacking core was busy again, Coach.
They always are.
Getting into the backfield, tackles for loss. An incredible night for your defense. We'll have to get with our Union Pines historian and see if maybe that's a rushing, because we had the passing, 0 yards passing, and now we've got -1 yards rushing. I think this defense may have set a record, Coach.
I believe that could be close to a record. If anything's less than that, then I wouldn't want to face that defense.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely. Another note for this one too, Coach. Your Vikings only had 6 penalties for 20 yards. That just talks to their discipline. Because that was something that we talked about earlier in the season, was minimizing the penalties and the yardage from penalties.
We've been preaching that, and staying focused and staying disciplined, and doing your job. And the guys against Southern Lee did a great job of eliminating those penalties and those mistakes. And when you can have less than 20 yards or 20 yards or less of penalty yardage, man, that's a big night for your team, and that shows a lot of discipline.
Yes, sir.
By your kids.
Absolutely, there, Coach. And so that covers the Southern Lee game. We're going to go ahead and jump into some highlights, Coach. Here we go. You ready?
Yes, sir. Let's get to it.
Let's go. And coming back from the highlights, Coach, here, we're going to go ahead and mention the offensive and the defensive players of the week for the Southern League game. Our offensive timeout player of the week. Coach, you gave it up to the entire offensive line. Go ahead.
The entire offensive line, those starting 5, did a great job for us. When you have a running back go for 278 yards, they're doing their job. Over 300 yards total rushing in that game, one man with 278. So the entire offensive line is going to get to come to timeout and eat good for the night.
That's right, Coach. Giving that O-line some love. And going to the Defensive Player of the Week, this is the Texas Roadhouse Defensive Player of the Week, Mr. Sean Long.
Sean Long, he's had a great season this year against Southern Lee. Did a great job of coming up and making tackles. And that's why Sean Long has been named our Texas Roadhouse Defensive Player of the Week.
Awesome. And Coach, we're going to go ahead and move into this past Friday's game. Triton, not quite the expected outcome, but there's some good things to point out from this game.
Yeah, in my opinion, I say we because the staff and myself is included. We look like a completely different team. From Southern Lee to Triton, it's frustrating, but we won't quit. We'll get back to the drawing board and fix our mistakes and move on to the next one. So
that's right.
That's the plan moving forward.
There you go. And you got to appreciate these moments sometimes, Coach, to go back and put things in perspective.
Yeah.
Talk about the discipline. Talk about being able to move forward from a game like this.
Yes.
And I know these boys will jump back. They've got another tough opponent this upcoming week. We'll talk about them in a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I know they'll bounce back and they'll be ready to go.
Yes, they will.
So that Triton game, Vikings take a loss there, 52-14. And looking at some of the stats there, it looked like turnovers hurt us a little bit. We had 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions.
Yeah, 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions really cost our offense a little bit. One of the fumbles was a questionable call. I guess I believe that the ball, he was throwing the ball forward as he was getting hit, so I thought it was an incompletion. They said it was a fumble. It's up for interpretation. So be it. But we can't put ourselves in situations.
Tom Brady tuck rule.
Yeah,
Golly.
We can't put ourselves in situations to let anybody else decide the game except for us.
That's right.
We were in a bad spot there, so that's really why that was made. That call was made.
And so talking about the offense here, Justin Eberhard again, 17 attempts for 141 yards. The longest one, Coach, here, 76 yards with a touchdown. Roy Board, their quarterback, he also had 10 attempts rushing, 61 yards and a touchdown. And Vikings, we had 5 Vikings with a catch, Coach, led by Jacob Bobles. Is that Jacob Bobles?
Yes.
That's right. Jacob Bobles, 4 receptions for 32 yards. Isaiah Hampton, Brendan DeLoach, Justin and brother Jalen Eberhard with a catch. So spreading the ball a little bit, Coach, is definitely a good thing to see. When you're able to spread the ball between 5 receivers.
Yeah, one of the positives, and you hate to say positives from a blowout, but one of the positives is getting a lot of people in and getting them some varsity game time experience. So that was big for our kids, and practice reps are great. Getting out there and practicing every day is good, but there's nothing like playing on a Friday night under the lights, no matter how many times you practiced it. So it's good to get some of those guys some reps out there. And Justin and Rory had a pretty decent night running the ball. We just got to make sure that we take care of the football all the way around.
That's right. And going on to the defense now, 14 Vikings with a registered tackle, 19 total Vikings in for tackles and assists. When I looked at the stats, Coach, once again, the defense is all over the place again. Sean Long, 10 tackles, 3 assists, 1 tackle for loss. We had Kamal Fairley with 8 tackles and 4 assists. And then we both had sacks by Matt Green and Martin Smith from that linebacking core again.
Yes. Our defense, again, just like the offense, it's great to get some guys in there that don't typically get to play on a Friday night and get them some varsity experience. So that's why we had a large number of people with registered tackles. So that experience is invaluable for them. They'll take that and move forward and grow from that. And the offense that we were facing, that wing T attack from Triton was just extremely tricky and extremely effective. They ran it well, and we just couldn't seem to figure it out on defense. And whenever you allow rushing yards, a large number of rushing yards, you lose. And just like against Southern Lee, we allowed -1 and we win. So running the football is really the name of the game. We love to throw it. We love to see passes on offense, but really when it comes down to it, winning and losing is blocking and tackling, and that's running the football.
That's right. Absolutely, Coach. And, when I looked at a little bit of Triton's stats, I believe they had, maybe 6 or 7 guys that were in the backfield running for them. You don't really see that much. We've got Eberhard that takes it. Rory takes it.
They got their fullback and their 2 wings, and they rotate some guys in there, and then when they got a lead, they rotated even more guys in there. So that's where all their rushers came from. But their fullback was the main dude carrying the load for them.
Good gracious.
He did a great job. credit to him. You know, he's a great player. But we just have to figure out our mistakes and, you know, fix ourselves and move forward and forget about this one and focus on the next one.
That's right. And speaking of, you know, rushing, this upcoming week you're going to be facing a pretty tough guy in the backfield at Lee County, and we'll talk about him a little bit later.
Thanks for the reminder. I appreciate
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Coach. I had to, man. It's just, but you know, this is a good experience for you boys. They're going to know what to expect now. They're going to come back. They're going to fight this one out. And it's going to be a good matchup for you. I know it will be. And let's go ahead and get to some highlights. Coach, you ready?
Yes, sir. Let's show them.
All right. And Coach, coming back from the highlights here, not going to do player of the games this week, but it's all right. We're going to get them this upcoming week. And we're going to go ahead and talk about the matchup. October 22nd, that's this coming Friday at Lee County. We're playing, used to be called Lee Senior, but I think when they split and made the Southern Lee, it's Lee County now. And, we mentioned before, going up against a tough running back. But Coach, I know you guys will prepare and get this guy locked down. So.
Yeah, really, really, really good running back. But what people fail to mention and seem to forget from time to time is that defense. Lee County's defense has pitched 7 shutouts this year in 8 games. Hoke County's the only team to score any points on them, so we're going to have to be very creative on how we're going to attack the defense, and also we're going to have to be meticulous with the way that we handle the ball and be patient. And then defensively, we're going to have to find a way to shut down the running game, or at least try to contain a little bit of the running game, because you're not going to be able to completely stop a guy like that's got 30-plus Division I offers. But we'll come up with a good game plan and put it in place and get our kids prepared, and we'll see what happens. I feel really good about where we're at as a team. Being 4-4 and 1-1 in the conference. Not ideal. But, our kids are growing, our kids are maturing, our kids are learning the game. They're hungry, they're never quitting, they're always fighting. So I think we are looking forward to a good matchup Friday night.
And I can definitely tell, too, Coach, throughout the, throughout the season, and as we continue to progress, more into the conference, just around the school. Your guys, they're always hungry and they're always fighting and they're wanting to get out on the field, wanting to put forth their best effort. And I think that's a testament to you, Coach. We thank you for coming in here and putting that sense of hard work, that sense of family that we talked about at the beginning of the season. And so a good testament to you, Coach, for getting these boys prepared each and every week.
We talk about the process, attacking it every single day, and focusing on the process. And I told our kids, about 3 games into this, I said, it's not an overnight thing. You can't just flip a switch and everything be changed. But it's not fair to our seniors to say, well, let's just wait till next year. It'll get better next year. So we're going to keep pushing through this process and make our seniors' final season of high school football as best we can, and just keep working and keep grinding every single day and pushing forward.
Sounds right, Coach. And so, once again, your Vikings are in action this coming Friday night. That's going to be at Lee County. And game time, I believe, is at 7 o'clock, Coach. Not too far away, so if you're not doing anything Friday night, take a drive out there. I know I'll be at home taking care of the little boy. So, Coach, you may have to give me a pass for this one again.
That's okay.
But definitely when you boys come back home, I'll be there. I'll be up in the press box again and get back to the voice of Viking football. I'm ready to get back there.
It feels like we hadn't been at Will Hoyt Stadium in 2 years.
Oh, I know. It's been a while.
I'm excited to get back home, but we got to focus on this one first.
That's right, Coach. We'll get through this week, and then the boys will be home. And we got a JV game. JV game is at home this Thursday. And so if you want to come out and check out the JV boys, I think they're doing a fantastic job, Coach. They've put the smack down on some teams.
They are 2-0 in the conference right now.
Yeah.
They're doing a great job. They have some really good players that are leading their way. Ethan McKay's doing a great job at quarterback. J.J. McCain playing receiver and a little bit of running back. Archie Chandler on offense. Holden Grainer on defense is doing a great job.
Absolutely.
So that JV team is coming along. They're really focusing and pushing, and they're going to try to win a conference championship themselves at the JV level. And,
that's right.
And that's their goal, and we support that, and we're going to keep pushing them and keep working those guys hard. So shout out to our JV team. They're doing a great job right now. So hopefully this Thursday night they can come up big again.
That's right. And it's exciting to watch some JV guys too, because this is going to be your crew the next year or two.
Yes.
And so
that is the future of
right.
Viking football, and we put a lot of time and effort into what they're doing, and we really focus on that because we know we have to reload every single year because people are graduating, people are moving on, and so that JV team is going to be where we pull our talent from, and then from there, you look at New Century and Cranes Creek.
Right.
So we spend a lot of time there as well, trying to work with those guys and just make this whole family process from middle school all the way up.
Absolutely, Coach. And, testament to your coaching staff for taking care of both the JV and the varsity duties each and every week, preparing these guys, getting these guys ready, for tough conference matchups, but, great coaching staff all the way around, and, big testament to those guys. And so, Coach, that brings us to the end of it here. Once again, we're at Timeout Sports Grill, and we'd like to thank Timeout for hosting us. Like to thank Timeout for our Offensive Player of the Week. Shout out to Texas Roadhouse for our Defensive Players of the Week. The Buffalo Wild Wings tent, Coach. We're a week away from it again, and
we're a week away.
We'll get it back.
We're excited to have Buffalo Wild Wings come back in and host that Buffalo Wild Wing tent. So go ahead and get your bids in for the next 2 home games.
That's right. And, as always, we'd like to give a shout-out to Tim Hill, photography, took some great photos. Big supporter of Viking football, great guy.
Yes.
And, I'd like to give a shout-out to, the Union Pine staff and faculty, the family. Over these past couple of weeks, Coach, I haven't been at Union Pines, but the support and the morale, everything about Union Pines is incredible.
It's awesome. It is a true family.
Super
it's a true family atmosphere inside of athletics and outside of athletics.
Yeah, absolutely.
From the faculty, the staff, the administration, everybody involved. So we do thank you for your support and the family-like atmosphere throughout the entire school.
Yeah, it's been quite humbling and really rewarding. From the love and support that we've gotten from those guys. And we'd like to give a shout out to you. Thank you guys for watching each and every week that we put this on. Without you, we don't have a show. So we love coming here and talking a little football and putting the show on. No Panthers today. They played on Thursday night. That was a tough game to watch, too.
Unfortunately. I don't want to watch any more football this week.
No, we're done with football for this week. So, once again, shout out to Timeout Sports Grill for hosting us. And, Coach, I believe that wraps this one up.
That'll do it, Justin.
All
Thank
right.
you for having us. And,
Yes, sir.
Go Vikings.
Go! Go! Nothing can stop me, I'm all the way up.